Yay!
How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, pretty fine. Pretty fine right now. I'm home with my son.
Amazing.
Uh, yeah, my daughter is on winter holidays, and my wife is on business trip.
Oh my God,
So yeah,
busy.
boys home alone. Yeah.
That's awesome. I have as well.
Oh, so cute.
He's camera shy.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see you here, and finally we've got this.
I know, me too. I'm sorry it took so long, but it was worth the wait.
No problem. Uh, we will talking about so important topic because we decided to speak about mental compulsions, about ruminations, and this is something different than physical compulsions because physical compulsions everyone can see or can look at somebody. Yeah, people checking the doors and checking home appliances or
hmm
uh, yeah, but mental compulsions are something different, are something that we're most of the time are we are in this alone and nobody can see what's happened in our heads.
Yeah. It's so tricky too because it's not something, like you just said, it's not something you can physically see. So a lot of times the person, so in this case me, I don't even know that I'm doing a compulsion. Or unless, I don't know about you, a lot of times I don't realize I'm doing a compulsion until it's a little too late.
Yeah, because we can't stop thinking, and it's so tricky because we don't have a off button in our heads, and we can't just turn it off. And
I know.
when we're thinking all the time, we uh, we don't know when we starting doing compulsions and we starting ruminating, and this is why it's so hard to mm, to stop it. Because
Yeah.
if we start ruminating and we don't see this as soon as possible, it's even harder. With every minute, it's even harder to stop it because OCD is creating a really real scenario in our minds.
Exactly. I think for me, I do well when I'm busy, but when I'm sitting around, when I like to ruminate the most, and it's hard because it's like, so an example is right now I'm going through something that involves making a big life decision, and it's hard because a professional would it's easy to kind of not pay attention to it and stuff like that, but it's hard because I feel like I need to, you know what I mean, to make that decision and to make a good one. So it's where it gets tricky is like, I don't know if you deal with this, but for me, it's hard to tell the difference between OCD and what's actually productive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's so tricky, and it's it seems to be so real because when we start ruminating, we have feeling that we're trying to solve something, to solve the problem, to find solution, and when we think we already found the solution, OCD starts the cycle again and again and again, and I don't know how many hours I've been ruminating in my whole life, and I I I make the same mistakes, and I know there is no solution. I know this, and I start ruminating again when really hard trigger hits.
Exactly. I'm totally there with you. It's like I've had OCD for 20 years, still can't grasp. Like I can tell you that what you're saying is absolutely right, but when I'm in that moment of ruminating, it's easy to feel like, oh, maybe this one time I'll get an answer. It's really, really
Yeah,
tricky.
yeah, maybe one last time. This time will be different. Yeah.
Exactly.
And unfortunately not.
You never have the same moment twice either. So it's easy to also believe what you just said, which is maybe this time it will be different because it is different.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Well, find an answer that will satisfy us. Yeah. I always when I start ruminating, I always looking for this feeling that I'm sure I found the problem. I have this feeling in my stomach, in my chest, and then boom, again, and everything starts over. It's like never-ending story, and it's like fuel for our OCD.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know about you, but I feel that I ruminate more on my feelings now than my thoughts. I think I've pretty much, made it clear to myself that thoughts are just thoughts, but I've attached a lot of meaning to feelings. I don't know about you, but feeling like I should feel a certain way, or like, why do I, like, you know what I mean? Why do I feel this way? Why do I not feel this way?
Yeah. It's pretty hard because when my OCD really started to ruin my life, everyone around me were thinking that I'm just sad. I'm just sad. I have, for example, a really bad day, but I'm like a prisoner in my head, and I can't get out. And in in my journey, I think really important is to see that we start ruminating as soon as possible. If we see this in really few seconds, it's much easier to stop it and to get out from this OCD cycle.
Exactly. What would you say your biggest challenge with ruminating is?
Can you repeat?
What would you say your
Because
biggest when it comes to ruminating?
yeah, biggest challenges is uh, yeah, it's really hard because everything in my case is around my relationship. It's all about what my OCD is talking about my relationship, about my wife, about me, and it's really hard because it's so real. It's so real feeling, and it's really hard to stop because there are so many dots in my head, and they're so perfect connected in and yeah, OCD is really right. It's really good at this storytelling, and this is really hard for me because every single trigger, it seems to be like something real, that could happen, and that's something it's really dangerous, and something that can destroy my relationship. And yeah, this is really challenging, and this that my wife it's really hard for my wife too.
No, 1,000%. It's so personal because it's
Yeah.
we're saying it feels real. It has to feel real, or else it wouldn't convince you. That's why it's
Yeah.
so evil.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and this feeling that is this problem solving in my head is so necessary, so urge. I can't wait to solve it later. And I have few situations, or not few, many situations in my life that my son asked me, "Daddy, can you play with me, or can we play games or something?" And I told him, "Wait a minute. and I start ruminating, and this minute is an hour, 2 hours, and this is really hard for us.
Absolutely. I completely relate to you. Relationship OCD is pretty much my most prominent subtype at this point, and it just seems to be so hard for me to let go of mental illness because again, they're not as easy to identify.
Yeah. And this really hard to see from it's really hard to see that is something wrong, because we are thinking that we have to solve this problem, and we don't make any physical compulsions, and this is really tricky because nobody sees that something is wrong with us. And this is so frustrating because 1 year ago, when I decided to go to therapy, I was so frustrated. I was depressed because I'm stuck in my head and spent in my head ruminating almost 8-10 hours a day. So this was really terrible.
Absolutely. Are you on medication at all?
Yeah, I'm on meds after a really hard OCD week. I decided with I have a really wonderful therapist, and this is also important to find right therapist, because I know I have few friends that their therapist said therapy is what you need, and you don't have to take meds. And this is wrong, because meds help me to go through the therapy right now. Without meds, it will be not possible, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting that they were saying that. Am I understanding correctly? They were saying that's not the right thing to do.
I don't hear you. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now it's okay.
Okay, sorry. So am I understanding correctly that they said taking meds is not the right thing to do?
Yeah, my therapist said, Lucas, it's time to take meds, and it's absolutely okay. But I have I have really wonderful therapist. She understands what OCD is, and that meds mixed up with therapy is the best way to treat OCD.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the important thing is a lot of people rely on meds when it comes to anything, even if it's like a stomach. People rely on meds to be kind of like the cure-all. But so for me, for honestly the longest time, I thought I wasn't sure what meds were supposed to do, because the other thing with my OCD is I don't tend to panic too much. I have medication for when I'm panicking, but I don't feel that I have traditional anxiety where my heartbeat goes up or I'm shaking, or you know what I mean? So it's kind of, it makes sense that medication would make those physical things kind of settle down. But for me, I didn't understand what OCD was supposed to respond to medication. But luckily, as of honestly 2 weeks ago, I'm on something that I really can tell is making a difference. It's not the cure-all. You still have to have coping mechanisms and do the course, but I can see why it's a good, baseline.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to tell people what are game changers for us in our recovery journey when we speak about rumination, about mental compulsions, because when I see and I'm aware when it starts, it's really it's pretty easier to stop it. And then I tell myself, Lucas, is this really necessary? Do you have to do it right now and start ruminating? And answer is always no, absolutely no. It's no solution there. let's try to leave this problem unsolved, and in my case, this work.
Amazing, that's great.
Yeah.
What kind of ruminating do you deal with? Because for me, I can say I deal with a lot of wanting reassurance and confessing my feelings, or confessing that I'm thinking about something.
Yeah. My rumination process is something like trying to tell myself if the scenario OCD trying to convince me is real, is possible, of it's just a normal thing, yeah. And when I finally got this feeling, yeah, it's normal, it's okay, everybody do this, then I start thinking about it over and over again.
I know, exactly. I'm open to any tips, because I like I said, I'm having the hardest time pushing these away, and it's one of those things where I can give advice, and I know what to do, but when I'm in the moment, it's like you forget everything you've ever learned.
Yeah. And I think really important is here that we should to educate and should to be aware of what really rumination, what really mental compulsions are, because when we will start to see it, it's really easy way to think about tools that we can use, about mindfulness, about ERP. Yes, of course, ERP works, but we can try with ACT, mindfulness, and start using these tools to be here and now, and not in our mind ruminating about past and about the future.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, this is really hard to explain to someone who don't have OCD, who can't even imagine what happened in our minds. It's so hard to explain somebody this, but when we know when it started, we can do it something with this. And 1 minute, we have here one question. No, sometimes I use ICBT and see if what I'm ruminating on is relevant to the here and now.
I like that.
Yeah.
I just did a group therapy session actually about, or I wasn't. It was about how it's, in addition to coming to the moment, so are you creating more yourself? Especially what ifs, they can become very convincing, or you know what I mean, that you can be convinced that they're real, but then it's good to come back into the moment and realize, am I making this up, or is this actually what I'm facing right now?
Yeah, guys, if you have questions, just write here and we will try to answer.
Yeah, this question, do you think simplifying your tools helps you mind yourself when you're meditating? I'm curious what you mean by that. I think that, Lucas, let me know what you think, but I think the most simple tool is I like the 5 senses rule, and pulling myself back into the present and labeling the thought. So
yeah.
watching TV with a friend and not even realizing that I'm not even paying attention, realizing, oh, I notice I'm having an anxious thought about blank, and that separates us from the thought.
Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite simple tool.
Yeah, I like to I like to make jokes about my thoughts, and when OCD is trying to tell me something, I tell, yeah, that could happen and it will be fun. Yeah, my OCD is trying to convince me there will be a huge orgy or something. Yeah, that will be fun, and that's it. Yeah, it's it's a really funny way to keep distance to our thoughts and to this whole bullshit OCD is trying to tell us.
Absolutely. I like being sarcastic with it. Like, okay,
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah. I do not need to solve this. Yeah, it's pretty simple thing, but it's not so simple to use when we have really hard, when we are in a really hard situation with distress, with anxiety. It's not so easy to just tell I don't have to solve it. It's not so simple
Or
because
oh no, go ahead.
yeah, it's much easier to when I will tell myself I don't have to solve it when the trigger is not at so high a level,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really hard when trigger hits from nowhere and I just starting to feel the high level of anxiety and oh my gosh, it's so I'm so scared, and when at this point everything I'm started ruminating, it's not so easy to tell you don't need to do it with this, or you I don't have to solve it. It's not so easy. What do you think, Anna?
That's how the challenge gets bigger, and I think when it is small and easier to grasp, but that's when it's easiest to practice, and then those bigger, more manageable.
Yeah, small steps, because and that's why we start with ERP from really small or not so heavy triggers.
Mm-hmm.
We start with really small steps, and then after a few weeks, few months, we can really face the really something what really we are scared of.
Exactly, but it's not all or nothing. It's not black and white. Not like if you get over a certain trigger easily, but another one is harder. That doesn't mean that you are back to square one.
Yeah. Yeah, last time I have really good 2 weeks without ruminating and without this whole OCD things, and out of nowhere, really hard trigger hits me, and it started again, and I had 2 days. In bed, ruminating about non-existent problem.
Mm-hmm. It's the worst when it feels like it's kind of taking its own course, it's like controlling it feels like it, right?
Yeah.
Question: how to overcome relationship OCD? There's this guy who love bombed me and then ghosted me, but I'm unable to let go. Okay. I have a very hard time letting go, especially because the OCD will latch onto it and say, oh, but what if you did this? Maybe this will make them come back, or this will make them explain why they ghosted, or something's wrong with me. What do you think? I mean, I think those are compulsions for sure. Anything that OCD wants you to do, like text him again, to make it stronger. It's kind of like it's operating a crank and you're on it. But I feel that it gets easier the longer you resist compulsion. It doesn't feel. It feels like world.
it's
And distract yourself. I have learned that. Even the next day, sometimes I'm like, why was I worried about that? I don't even care right now about that.
and I think the overcoming relationship OCD it's really hard for me because it's not only my thing, it's my relationship with my wife. So
Right.
it's really hard. It's really hard to explain what we are feeling both when I'm asking for reassurance, when I doing checking compulsions, and I'm asking her over and over again, and we both are so frustrated, and there are days we have enough, and this is really hard. And the most important thing is try to understand how OCD works, and that OCD is not me. And this is important to understand from the point of view of a person without OCD, but we have also tried to understand our loved ones, because it's really hard to cope with someone with OCD and with relationship OCD. And this is so important, because when I will think just about myself, it will not work. And I'm 100% sure it will destroy my life. It's not easy thing, because it's so complicated. It's so many hard moments. I started avoiding many situations. I started asking many stupid questions, and yeah, and this is not so easy, but with help of therapy, of ERP, of mindfulness, and the people around me, it's much easier to make a step forward.
Well, I think also the people around you, when they go out of their way to learn about it, that's how you, and even just hold your hand through it. That's how you know that they're worth keeping in your life. Ooh, do you think meds really help for OCD?
Yeah. Oh, we have here one question, not about mental compulsions, so about any guidance how to stop skin hair picking. I think it's the same thing that with every other compulsions. Just therapy, ERP, mindfulness, hair picking or skin picking is like something with checking doors and
Washing your hands.
it's yeah we do this for going away from anxiety, and this is just or yeah just compulsion.
Yeah, it's obviously hard to just stop cold turkey, but I think even just stopping for, resisting for 3 minutes is progress.
Yeah. And this is also a good point when we speak about ruminating, about mental compulsions. When I when I had really hard ROCD thought, I told myself, just take a breath, and you can start ruminate, but few moments later. And few moments later, I didn't remember what I wanted to ruminate about.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's funny how something can just feel so important at one day, and then the next day I'm like, why did I even worry about that?
Yeah.
Oh, this comment. I used to pick my skin so bad, I made huge sores. It was awful. I used to bite the inside of my mouth till it bled. I used to wash my hands until they were so dry that they would bleed as well. And thank goodness we have bodies that take care of themselves, but we have to be kind to ourselves for sure. It's what's Lucas, I'm curious, what's the randomest compulsion you've had? Like washing hands or picking your hair?
Uh, yeah. From physical compulsions, last time I see I'm picking my skin. So really often it's not so hard, but when I have my stress at really high level, I started picking my skin. And 2 weeks ago, my wife told me, "Lucas, just stop. We're speaking with each other, and just stop it. I hate this, yeah."
Yeah.
And it's not so easy to stop it when you are nervous, you are stressed, because it's a compulsion, yeah.
Have you ever done this? I used to walk a little bit, like a few feet, and then I would tell myself to do it right, so I would walk back and then do it again, but it would happen in public, so I would have to kind of play it off like I forgot something.
Yeah. uh, uh, I a few months ago, when I decided to stop this picking thing with picking skin and this compulsion, I made a really huge exposure, because I had on my head this, I don't know how to say it in English, this white,
A watch?
it's something like, yeah, something, when yeah, when something pops up on your skin, how to say this in English? For example, here or here. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, acne, exactly. I decided uh, to to do nothing with this for the whole week, and I have something on my head, acne, and didn't I didn't pick it, and I did nothing with this. So this is a really good exposure, because the most of time you are the only one person who know about this not perfect skin or something. And this is only feeling that you have to do this something with this, and you don't have to do with this anything.
Exactly. I mean, that's something you shouldn't do, whether you have OCD or not.
Yeah.
So there was a question, do you think meds really help for OCD? And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, where I was personally curious how OCD was supposed to respond to meds. But I would say my meds do help, because I personally could always use the extra serotonin. And I'm learning that my meds make me kind of like this, not like in a very calm, but more just calm, and like makes my mood kind of
Yeah, yeah,
rather than dramatic.
yeah, exactly. I had the same feeling, because I'm also on sertraline, and the first month on sertraline was really terrible for me. I slept all day. I felt like I was dead for the whole month, really. But now it's pretty. It's okay. It's okay. I'm less anxious, but I'm not on really high dosage of sertraline. and this is okay for me and for my specialist. Actual.
I think that's the other thing is I don't know about you, but I've had to try a lot of times. It's a lot of trial and error, and it can be easy to get discouraged, but you just have to, kind of go through the motions. You have work for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, I was just saying that a lot of times it's certainly a lot of times it's 1 or 2 or 3 before you find.
Yeah, Anna, it's something wrong with voice.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah, now it's better.
Sorry about that.
Thanks. No, not too sorry because we're yeah. Now it's okay. Okay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I hear you.
Okay.
Perfect.
I was just saying, with medication, it's easy to, get discouraged that something's going to help or not, but it takes 1 or 2 or 3 tries. I don't know about you, but it's definitely taken me a few tries before I found something.
Sertraline is the first med I'm taking right now, but I know about side effects, so I didn't stop after first or second week. I decided to take this for 1 month, and this is after 1 month everything is stabilized and side effects gone.
Oh, good.
So it's also important to not to be scared about meds and yeah, absolutely what you said. It's possible that first medication or second doesn't work, and it's okay. It's not easy way.
Not easy, but
yeah. Yeah, it's not easy way, but it's worth because when I live with my OCD for last 4 years without therapy, and now I'm decided to taking meds to start therapy. It's really worth the effort because it's really hard to live with untreated OCD. It's really hard.
How long have you had OCD?
First symptoms I had when I was 10. Yeah, and the first.
Sorry, I was asking. When diagnosed?
I don't hear you right now. Sorry.
When were you diagnosed with those?
I was diagnosed last in 2023.
Oh wow!
In November, after 20 years. It took a long time, but last 4 years were really hard for me, and I decided to start therapy because it's really hard for me and for my wife. So this was the really important step, and I'm really thankful this community and my therapist and my wife, because it's not easy way to start talking about it and start therapy.
It's not, and I was going to say I'm amazed at how quickly you've moved and progressed, because you also know so much about it.
Yeah, I think it's the beginning on my journey, because I'm 1 year in therapy. It's pretty short time, because I lived with OCD for 20 years and not all. I think I had really hard 5 or 6 years. But last 4 years were really hard, and I was stuck in my head, and it's so hard to see that it's something wrong with me, because everyone, my family, just thought that I was sad, or I was in the garage, and I did my workouts, but my workouts I did for 3 hours, and 2 hours I was in my head.
And they have no idea.
Yeah, my wife told me, Lucas, why do you make your workouts for so long? And I was ashamed to tell her that for 2 hours I was thinking about if I did everything right, and yeah, that was really hard for me.
I think a lot of people don't believe that I struggle as well, because on the outside I'm very happy. I like to joke.
Yeah.
But you truly never know. But I think that's awesome how quickly you've learned about it, because for me, I didn't really learn much about it until probably 10 or 15 years after I was diagnosed. So it was a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time, and in my case, 20 years almost. So it's so important to speak about it, because there are so many people that they're thinking they're alone, and they really scared of tell what. Of telling with somebody about this, and this is important to speak about it, about this, what mental compulsions are, and yeah, and this is a really good occasion to speak about it with you, because I lived with that for so many years, and I want to change it.
I get it. Did you know much about OCD when they first told you have it?
Yeah, I know what OCD. I knew about this because 20 years ago I I had really hard OCD OCD month, 1 month when I was 19. And I decided with my girlfriend to go to psychiatrist, and psychiatrist told me that I have anxiety disorder, not really OCD.
Okay.
So anxiety disorder, and that I should start taking meds. But I was 19. I decided to not taking meds, and I live for next 20 years without any treatment. And when COVID starts, when the pandemic starts, I knew that is something wrong in my head. When I started doing compulsions, ruminating, I knew that this can be OCD, and yeah. And my therapist told me for a few minutes, speaking with me, Lucas, you have pure OCD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of research.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I don't think I knew what OCD was when they first told me 15. And I think I thought it was what everyone stereotypes it as, which is being overly clean and organized. But I also really didn't think much about it. I think I was more happy that I knew it was something, because it was obvious that the way I was living was not normal. But.
Yeah, and so when I was young, so many people didn't know anything about OCD. My
Yeah.
family and my close ones, and this is also so important because many people many people thought I was introvert, and
Oh,
yeah, and when I was with my friends on party, I was this guy who didn't speak so much. And then
oh,
when I told my friends 1 year ago about my OCD, that I was diagnosed and I have this problem, they told me, okay, now we understand all these situations when we were together and we were smiling, we were laughing, and you just sit on the couch and just in silence, yeah.
yeah.
And this is the point. It's really hard to see that something is wrong in someone's mind.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because people, even professionals, diagnose it and think it's something else, like being introverted or being autistic. There's a lot of, or just generalized anxiety.
Yeah, or for example, ADHD or something. It's really hard, especially in Poland. It's really hard to find right therapist who can diagnose someone with OCD,
Really.
because yeah, that's why I started my page in English, because I know it's much easier to find knowledge, find right people in United States, in Great Britain or something. But in Poland, it's better than few years ago, but it's not like in the USA.
It sounds like you need to break the stigma in Poland a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I'm talking about it out loud in Polish radio, in my here in my city, because
That's,
I really believe it can help someone who suffers in silence, or who is alone.
yeah, absolutely. That's it's such a normal thing to feel alone with this disorder because it's not talked about. And I feel for all the people in Poland that really don't know much about it and feel alone because they're not sure what it is. So I think what you're doing is amazing. I think you have so many followers and it's incredible. I
No,
grow fast life.
and I really I I hate word influencer. I hate word followers, and I really don't care about the numbers. But now I believe that social media can help others, and we should use it in this way, especially when we have so many people here in our community.
Absolutely. That's why I started mine too. And it's not even about the followers, it's just showing how many people you've touched, you know, how many people you've reached out to.
Hmm?
Is the audio being bad again?
Yeah. Um, sorry.
Is the audio working?
Yeah, now it's working.
Good.
Okay.
So sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So many miles away. You are so many miles away. So I think it's
Yeah,
something with connection too. But yeah, I'm absolutely happy we can speak right now, and I'm finally can meet you, because
I
we just chatting or something.
absolutely. If you ever come to America,
Yeah, I mm, if IOCDF will accept my proposal, I decided to go there this year.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, that will be so cool. I told my wife about this, and she didn't kill me yet. So she accepted that I can go there alone. So it will be really cool to see these amazing people, and I'm 100% sure I will cry when I see those people.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm able to go this year, but I definitely need to go sometime. But if you go, then I might have to book a ticket. But
Yeah.
are you able to talk about what you proposed?
Yeah, I like to speak about because I'm not therapist, I'm not specialist, and I really like to speak about my experience, about what helped me in my journey, and the humor and distance is something that helps me a lot because it make my OCD a little less powerful when I use humor and something like that. So I decided to speak about it. So maybe it will be a great way to share my perspective and my point of view.
Definitely. I think it's a fun way too. It makes it less serious.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I really believe that it can help others and can show people that we can use humor, we can use distance, we can use really different creative ways to cope with our OCD.
Definitely. Absolutely. And you're obviously are very successful. So
Yeah. So Anna, thank you very much. And maybe, hey guys, maybe you have some question for us. We can answer it.
yeah, I love that they were asking questions and during it.
Yeah.
But we shall see. But either way, I'm glad this worked out. Thank you for, fitting me into your schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. This month is really, really. It's much activities in this month and the next one too.
Yeah.
But I am really glad that so many amazing people decided to speak with me because I don't know these people personally, and this is so amazing that I write them. I wrote you a message, Anna. Maybe we can do this, and you told me, yeah, let's do this.
Absolutely.
Have you gained any new hobbies during your OCD journey? Making memes. before, yeah.
Mine is coloring. So I was doing intensive treatment a couple weeks ago, and I came out with basically an entire coloring book finished.
Yeah. I started after almost 20 years with skateboarding with my son.
Oh, that's
And
so
this is
cool.
also cool. Yeah, this is also cool because we have two skateboards and we spend time together, and this is really cool. And this is the time that OCD can steal from us. We just spending time together. We have fun, and this is really cool.
Good for you. I love it.
Yeah. So, okay. If you guys have any question, you can just write me or write Anna, and we are here. We don't leave our Instagrams.
We don't.
Yeah. And now I think it's time for bed because it's 8 p.m. here.
Okay.
And tomorrow I have to wake up at 5.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. It's really amazing to speak with you, Anna. I'm so happy. I think that what we're talking about can help someone in their journey.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to meeting you someday.
Yeah. So thank you, and see you next time.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, Anna.